my last post. Did you get to read it?
I love it. Okay. Hey guys, we are live right now. I'm Red Alark here with the amazing Kevin John Parrish, aka also Sergeant Parrish, who has worked with quantum computers for many years. It's really great to have him here today. If you would like to tune in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or X, we are also, well, you can tell, we're also on there today. And I want to thank Kevin for being here, first of all. Kevin, I can hear your radio in the background, just letting you know.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, no worries, man. Everyone is so grateful to hear you. Like, I remember the last time we got into a space, regarding quantum. Remember how you were literally the reason why somebody flipped their opinion like 360 degrees? Like,
Yeah, the data scientist guy in
yes,
Mexico.
yes,
Yeah, he was pretty cool though. I mean, I would like
yeah.
to have seen him published. That would have been good. That would have been good because I mean, because we were just making sure that he was getting some of the newest information.
No, I feel that too. Yeah, of course. Like, no, he was absolutely cool, but I mean, I guess before we totally get into today's topic, everybody, I always love it when people I admire it when people have the ability to change their mind based on new evidence and not keep saying shit like 2 + 2 = 5 over and over again once they've seen the facts. And so it was amazing to see that witnessed in real time. And yeah, he was a smart dude. So it was smart. It was good to see that in that space. But I think you kind of blew everyone's mind with some of the insider knowledge that you have due to like your background. So you're like literally the perfect
They
person to
weren't
talk
they
about
weren't
today's
going to put that out. You know that, right? You knew
what?
that they weren't going to put that out. That they were right on the verge of knocking out. I mean, they already knocked out almost all of 256 encryption. So I mean, before I even left the army. So I mean, I understand that people hold out information,
Yes.
but now Google has now confessed to it and now is hiding their findings and you know and some other things are going on. So they can't play plausible deniability. That's the whole thing is now that a PhD scientist actually went online and sat there says, yeah, DeepSeek and Google and all that are keeping their mouth shut. So that was
Mhm.
pretty interesting.
No, no, absolutely. So we are back to Citizen Glitch. Just a little reminder for those of you who are kind of new to the whole concept behind it, which is at the core of it, we're interested in human rights, right? Because if you can get people to get separated from their humanity and get disconnected from that, then you can control how they feel. If you control how they feel, you control how they think. So at the heart of everything we do, it's because we care about wanting to have like a better, future for humanity. And if you guys remember from our last episode with Hidden Gems, we had been talking about sovereignty, what that meant to him, what that meant to myself, what journey led us to realizing we needed to live in a more sovereign way. But towards the end, we said, well, we can't really continue to talk about sovereignty without without getting into the crypto conversation, without getting into the, governance conversation, because the whole thing is, no single point of failure, right? And so when I talked to Kevin about this, he said, well, we really can't just talk about some of these altcoins without mentioning quantum resistance, because if we truly care about helping people stay informed so that they can protect themselves, we can't leave that out of the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is we talked about trust what was it? Trust what was it? Trust wallet and all that too.
Briefly, yeah.
You should be running those things and then an IP blocker and then other things other than the encryption system that could leave you vulnerable. You still want to use these other antiviruses and everything else so you don't pick up spam or some other things that could be spyware or other host nations trying to see what you're making in your pocket. So, security is a big deal. They should go on Aeon Jam AI
Did you
Jam
wanna
has a,
AI Jam, did you want me to post the link here for people to see, or I can post it
it's on X, so I mean,
Okay.
and then they have two security experts on there too. Even though that the 256 is kind of like under wraps right now, they've pretty much have resolved that issue and hid that issue. Google's hid that issue. Even though they've hidden it, they still have the baseline programs to actually figure out what it is.
Yeah,
We're not out of the blue with that, but building a better system and another encryption system is pretty simple.
yeah,
I mean, it's not like it's rocket science. I mean, you can go to GigHub and actually pull up other types of programs that would actually secure your your chain block, all of it.
yeah. No, no, 100% um um we're gonna, I don't want to say rewind because that makes it sound like makes me sound like the 80s or something, but like now all the kids think it's cool. All of these things from the 80s, which is hilarious to those of us who are millennials and Gen Xers, uh, because we didn't think all of that stuff was cool. That was just our life at the time. But, you know, a lot of this comes down to, when we talk about all these things, all the values, right? Sovereignty, privacy, security, liberty, freedom, they're all connected. And of course, there's no sovereignty without financial freedom. And there is no financial freedom in a centralized system, right? So any kind of just like one single point of control, I mean, that's a problem. So when you hear people like Andrew Tate saying stuff like, I escaped the matrix, it's like, no, shut up. You just made friends with scammers, and now you have a bunch of money. Okay, so if you fuck with any of those scammers too much, piss them off too much, there you go, right? And if your freedom, quote unquote, depends on a cabal, and I know some of you are in cabals, lovely, not really, or you're in a freaking MLM, I mean, like, and you're dependent, your financial quote unquote freedom is just depending on that to promote your network. That is also causing yourself somewhat of a it's a single point of failure, and it's not liberation, that's servitude with a fucking referral bonus, and you're dependent. I mean, you're dependent rather. So you didn't escape anything, you just became a salesperson, and that only survives if you continue to recruit others. Okay, so real freedom doesn't mean someone's paying you to shut up, right? Because a lot of times, people pay, they're paying you just to shut up. Real freedom, it's not about silence or loyalty or recruitment. There's no one's permission, no like CEO. Kevin, you love CEOs, right?
No, no, I don't trust them at all. I
I
like
always have to
I
troll you.
like two CEOs my whole career, and that was it. It was Elon Musk and what's his name for one company, but other than that, I mean, I have no trust in them. No, none at all.
Sorry, I mean, I'm not sorry. It's just that I always have to troll him when I bring up that, and with good reason too. But Kevin, you are building something right now, and I know you don't want to really give away too much about that until it's like closer to being done. But aren't you kind of like on your way in a way? Or-
I've got people that want to look at some of the technology. I sent the paperwork up, and then there's a lot of people that are interested in it, and let them take their scientists and comb it over, because it's not a cheap endeavor to be the first person to have something. It's never cheap. So when you're backing somebody like that and you're giving them information, it's a known fact that it works. It's just how are they going to make it work? And once you get through the first stage and the research and development, that's when you can move on to production.
no,
So
no.
that's where they're at. They look at some of my notes, and then they follow it, and then they're actually going to make it. I mean, eventually.
No, I mean that's completely like that. That's amazing. But but regardless, you are not dependent on them or any one person to
No,
accept.
I'm retired. I'm not. I'm not a spokesman for anybody. Nobody runs me. I'm not a puppet. The
You,
government has nothing but a non-disclosure on some things that I can't talk about, and
right.
that's it. So I am nobody's puppet. So I'm honest with people. I don't lie to people. I'm very upfront. I'm retired now, so see the goatee coming in. I just wanted them to see it and see the long hair, the hippie kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Gee, I'm just like normal Joe citizen, and I just want to see people progress and get better instead of sitting there letting them get hurt. But don't lie to people and sit there and say, "Oh, well, this is going to be encrypted for the next 5 years." No, 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 because then once their money disappears and you didn't warn them about it, you're just as guilty. You got to be held liable for what you know and what could possibly happen.
Right, right. But I mean, like, and I don't mind if we like talk about, the quantum end of things more. I think that that's really important because it's
Well, and then we have to talk about the animal things, the
yes,
animal
we
cruelty
have to talk
things.
about
No, that was one of the things, man. There's some people that run labs that are unethical human beings. There was a congressman in Michigan, my friend was a friend of. He was a lab tech. I was a lab tech too. And, because we knew microbiology and all that, we were at the CEC and we volunteered with the MRC program. And I knew a lot of people there. And there's some people that practice some unethical, immoral things to animals, and you don't want those type of people owning labs, being around labs. If you get an animal cruelty charge, you shouldn't be anywhere near a pet or an animal. You should not own one. If you can't treat an animal correctly, you shouldn't have anything to do with that. Just my
oh yeah,
opinion.
no, you're right. Thurston Waffles, when he's able to join us, I know that he'll go into that discussion. That's like literally his whole thing is welfare for animals, and he's also in the crypto space. And I know that there's going to be a perfect time for us to like have that because I realized when I was saying, oh, human rights is at the core of everything, it's like, well, we really can't like miss
You
animal
can't
rights.
forget our furry pets either, man.
No.
I'm not, that the funniest thing that I get joy of every day is watching the cat videos, the kitty videos. So, that's my only joy. I mean, that's my only vulnerability when I have no time is watch kitty videos and watch them do silly stuff.
Well, I
But
like
yeah,
that's on the keyboard. Like that never gets old.
yeah, no, it doesn't ever get old.
No, I mean that definitely doesn't ever like get old. But if we, we could there's a lot, to be talking about here. But before I like going off on tangents, do you feel like, and I'm gonna say yes, but I kind of like sometimes like to ask for rhetorical questions just for funsies, that we have to remind people that privacy is, connected to this whole, could be, not could be, but will be quantum disaster, even with these altcoins.
I think that more.
Hello, Kevin? Oh, all of a sudden it turned black. Um, well, that's okay. We'll add him back technically. Oh, you're
I got
back.
knocked offline. Somebody called me.
Oh, that's okay.
Can you
Don't
see
even.
me?
Yeah, I
Oh, you
can
can't
see
hear
you.
me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Oh, wait, let me unmute your mic here. What the hell? What's going on? Your mic is muted. It won't let me unmute you.
How
That's
about now? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I can hear you. Don't even.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, somebody called me right in the middle of that.
Don't worry about it. Carry on.
Oh fuck.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's okay. It's the first time Kevin's streaming today. I am definitely not streaming from my phone because people do shit like call me sometimes when I'm like hosting
Hello.
streams. Yeah, I can hear you, but we can't see you. Your camera's off for some reason, Kevin. Let's do this again for the 50th time today. Let's get you on. I see. No, what happened? I tried to add you to the stage. Can I hear you? I can't hear you now. Your mic is. Do you have? Are you able to maybe enter from your computer or your laptop? I can't hear you at all. And I know that your audio was working fine just a second ago. Let me just see if like maybe I refresh the page and that fixes everything. Sometimes that does. Or maybe I don't know if that's a smart idea. But let's ask Brave here. Brave? Okay. Because you guys don't know, but like I've been using Brave browser for years, and I do like their private AI when I'm not screwing around with racing 55 different A models in ultraplanarian mode with God mode AI. So Brave, my guest on StreamYard, what does it say here? He says, wait, I can't hear you all of a sudden. And will refreshing the page fix the problem? Let's see what Brave says. My guest on StreamYard, I can't hear him now. When he came back. Will it be okay to refresh the page? Let's okay. Okay. Yeah, it's called Ask Brave in case any of you didn't realize that Brave had other uses, not just like, you know, using it, you know, for browsery things, or if you're using any other things on there. Yes, it's okay to refresh the page. If he's okay. And it says refreshing is the standard fix. Yes, he's already closed all his other apps. Let's try this again. I still don't hear you though. Let's just try refreshing the page. Changes may not be saved. It says I could refresh. And then, come on now. Oh, okay. I can hear myself again. Okay, I can't hear you. And I did refresh the page. I can't hear you at all, but I can see you. I can't hear you. Should maybe try leaving and coming back. Yeah, let's try this one more time. There we go. So I got some. Add you to the stage. Oh, there's you go.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Beautiful.
Okay. Cool. So do you want me to do some Q&A with some of that information that you wanted me to give you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I gave you like a whole thing, and like I'm
Well,
gonna.
I mean, I think that somebody's trying to block me from saying some stuff. So, I mean, I got my
What
TS.
censorship? No, we're in America.
Oh yes, especially on X. I had 3 posts already deleted, and then I had like 20 hours for initial count, and it disappeared within 8 hours. But I don't know if I left it on or somebody didn't want me to have to express some information I was going to give some people. So the TSP thing disappeared right off at X. So, and then every time I mention it, I get a phone call and people interrupt, and I'm like, okay, so somebody doesn't want me talking about that, so it's okay. It has something to do with the D wave system, and then I was trying to express that before, so I'll explain it later on a
Yeah.
post that they can't delete. So, because it's not fair to other people to hoard technology and not give out, basic stuff. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. Look, like I'm a big advocate of open source tech. I'm not saying that some things don't need to be patented, and that I'm not saying that there's no such thing as somebody having IP, but there's certain things that people do need to have access to.
A 70-year-old question, I think, is pretty much it needs to be answered. And I think quantum could answer that. Just my opinion. I haven't answered it yet. So, but I've given the way forward. And if they want to use it, they use it. If they do, if they don't want to use it, that's fine too. Eventually, somebody will get to it. but we gave them a way forward. MIT, Elon, Grok, all of them. We've given them a way forward. You can do it what you will, and then we walk away. You see what I'm saying?
No, 100%. No, 100%. We can do it what we will, and then they can kind of walk away. But yeah, I mean, so we can go right into the quantum discussion. I mean, I was going to talk a little bit more about just, decentralization on all of these chains, decentralization versus
Well,
performance, but we
did
don't
you
have
see
to.
the did you see, yeah, yeah, that'd be great. But did you see how they tracked down criminals that were using the Bitcoin system too, and the blockchains and everything? It was on the news yesterday. That pulled their blockchains and everything else and forensically went through it.
You're breaking up a
If I,
little bit. I don't know if is it my end or your end that it's doing that?
I think it's my
Okay. Okay.
it takes a lot of power out of my phone.
Okay. Well, you can plug the phone in, or it's fine. Like,
Got me?
yeah, I got you. Yeah. No, I mean,
Okay.
we can, go into all of that, but like, I'm also one of those people where I also just kind of let things go where they're going to go, right? Like, and let the conversation kind of naturally take it to where it feels like it's most important. Because to you, even though, yes, we could go on about decentralization, and all of the traditional ways that are used to measure it, Nakamoto efficient, Gini coefficient, and so on and so forth. But the thing
Right.
is because the thing is that in your mind, you're like, wait, you were really getting into like, we are really 7 to, again, we lost him. That's okay. He'll come back. But that's okay. Because sometimes we got a little bit of problems connecting. There you are today. Kevin, I can't see you, but I see you like in the black. So maybe let's have you re-enter. Just re-enter from another one. Let's see, like maybe like I'm gonna just re-enter one more time. I'm gonna kick this account or kick this entrance, enter again. Okay. And I'll send him a little message on Signal, letting him know to just try to come back again. Because I care about privacy. There we go. Add to the stage. There, you back.
Yeah, but I
I
mean
was
that's
about to do a little free rep for Signal, telling people.
if yeah, but I mean I shut off my phone and then somebody freaking telegraphed me and then signaled me. I'm like, dude, I turned off Signal and then telegraph goes off. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Telegraph.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have all forms of communication.
Yeah.
People want to communicate in all different forms, so you try to keep an open door to people.
Yeah, but I've been using Telegram less and less.
Yeah, me too, because it's kind of like you don't know where they're coming from.
I don't know where
And
they're coming from. There's so many scams and like, how do I say this in a nice way? Like, I've missed so many messages on Telegram. I've missed so many more messages from people on Telegram than I have on X.
well, and there's only one or two people I've ever talked to on there, so and the rest I just delete automatically.
Yeah. No,
But I'm just saying.
yeah, no, and it's okay because here's the thing. And this is why I'm happy that we're just going to go straight into the quantum a little bit more instead of talking too much about all of these different ways to measure decentralization. You guys understand that these measures, they're put in place with all of these networks, or not put in place, but you know what I mean. Like, maybe I shouldn't say, you know what I mean, that sounds dumb. But the intention behind all of these measures is to see like, which ones point to what's going to have like a single point of failure easier. And some blockchains out there, Canton, like to pretend like they're crypto and they're like centralized as fuck. And you are literally, with some of these blockchains, they're so centralized that if you're going into there, just like some of these MLMs, like thinking like this is freedom, well, you can lie to yourself all day long, denials a river in Egypt. But like, as far as even Kevin's concerned, when I even bring this conversation up to you, the reason why you wanted to focus more on quantum, and I think we should, is because it doesn't matter how decentralized your quote unquote network is, how great your performance is, if you are not prepared for quantum attacks in the next 7 to 11 years.
And then you remember if the 256 is down and everything else, and they get a warrant, the IRS can see your Bitcoin too, not just the free. Yes, yep, yep. We got a freaking text. I'm a VSAT or whatever.
Yeah.
So you think you're free. I worked with the IRS for the Vita, the volunteers to help people. You know, the volunteers for Vista for the IRS, and they're freaking talking about it when the 256 goes down, that the IRS will be able to see your Bitcoin and all your accrued money as well. And that was thanks Joe Biden for that one, not freaking Trump. But I'm just saying, thank Biden for that one. With his 1,000 other agents, that's why they were planning on the 256 actually dropping with quantum, and then the IRS being able to see how much wealth people have accrued. So just FYI, I mean, don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but
no, don't be, because here's the thing. Like, again, it doesn't matter how decentralized your blockchain is if your shit's not private and if it's not secure.
that's true. And that's what I'm saying is
we get back to because it's functionality, right? Because people who are stuck in the I'm a cypherpunk because me and my 10 friends are just going to stay in our basement and run Raspberry Pis. I'm kind of echoing Justin Bonds here a little bit, but doing it in my fucked up American way. It's like, no, if it doesn't function, your little fucking theoretical I'm so decentralized bullshit it's in your brain, and it's not helping people. It's not only not scalable and accessible, but it's not functional. Like, I would really want to start like having people get used to the term functional decentralization. And you can't have functional decentralization not only with performance, but part of that performance is privacy and security. So you know what, Kevin, fuck talking about like this and that, and my blockchain is more decentralized than yours. Let's just get right into the quantum. Why not?
well, no, because I mean, it's going to take what it's going to take is several AIs to actually come up with an encryption system to actually scale off quantum computing. It's going to take like I mentioned to the quantum community, I posted a paper on cross
You didn't
matching.
invite me to the quantum community?
Well, no, they have a thing in Canada in about 3 or 4 months. That's what I'm going to. But in
Oh.
in the quantum community, they have a thing coming up in Canada to win $200,000. So that's going to be fun. So that's the whole idea behind it. So, but as I was saying, to truly mask your signature would be like 6 or 7 AIs trying to sit there and delegate your IP, and then what's called spoofing. You ever heard this term, spoofing?
Mhm. Of course.
So you really want your IP to be there, and then having your bitcoins not on U.S. servers,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. You know, if it's not on a U.S. server, then the government has to get a warrant to actually seize or even see it from another country. So that kind of screws them up as well. So I mean, protecting the Bitcoin community would be, decentralizing. It would be great, but there's lessons to be learned right now before quantum takes effect, and then after quantum takes effect, AI, and then spoofing, and then keeping your money abroad, not in the United States.
No, you're right. Like, you know what? This is probably a good thing. You remind me, Mark Risen Hopkins, who I was telling you about earlier. I think that this would be a good conversation to have him on. He is, and when he gets back to us, we'll have him
But
on.
remember the international law. If you're not paying taxes within the United States for that Bitcoin, you have to pay that country's, taxes if they break your encryption. Yeah, you have to pay that country's. Like when I was in South Korea, that's where I did most of the taxes and tax returns for soldiers with the Vita. And they had to pay if they were residents of that country, because there's some people that were married to Korean nationals, and the Korean nationals had to pay their taxes to the Korean government, and we didn't get to touch them except for anything over $100,000 or more. So if you have a dual marriage, a dual citizen marriage, it actually helps you out, because whatever cash she has, if it's under a certain amount, she doesn't pay hardly any taxes on it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, but that's the law, and then we're going to discuss.
That's the law. Well, yeah, it's the law, but like that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is that you need to know these things, because once that 256 goes down, you're not
Does
using
everybody
the
know what you're referring to when you say 256? I do, but does everyone who's watching this?
256 encryption.
Yes.
So once that gets knocked down and your encryption system is not up to speed, the government can actually see what you're doing, how you're transferring money, who you're transferring money from, and where you're getting it, and where it's going. And don't blame Trump for that one. That one's Biden. That's why he got all these IRS agents, is because he wanted to reinforce the IRS, because once they had the Bitcoin and encryption down, they could actually sit there and seize houses, boats, and whatever, if the person wasn't paying any taxes on that royalties of that. I mean, because some states have what's called luxury taxes, and people are not paying for that either. So
Oh.
if you're in your state with the luxury tax, and you didn't pay your taxes on your Bitcoin or your coin deposits, and you've not declared them, and you put them in a different name or whatever, when that comes back to you, you'll be having to pay taxes all on that stuff for the luxury tax, because it's considered a luxury. And then the luxury items that you bought, that's when you pay the taxes sometimes. But most times you'll have to pay one at the end of the year, because of how much product you've purchased, like TVs, considered a luxury.
Okay. I mean, well, I mean that makes sense. So going back to like if it, just circling back a little bit to quantum, right? You kind of hinted to me that we really should not skip over the AI risks or the AI connection to this. Am I not wrong?
No, but Bitcoin should be investing in quantum, so they have their own quantum encryption systems that can't be broken by quantum. If it's a quantum encryption, it can't be broken by another quantum
But
computer.
are they investing? Do you think that they are
I
going
don't
to?
know if our Bitcoin friends out there are investing or not, but it's time to sit there and start funding some startups. And that's what I'm telling you, is I've recommended startups, that are doing quantum, that want to get into quantum computing, that are buying qubits, that are doing these advanced studies and all this. Hey, if you're going to invest, start investing in that, because that's where your next encryption system is going to be coming from. Do you
Right.
understand?
Yeah. But I just I don't see the Bitcoin community really giving a fuck too
Well,
much.
I mean, if they're not paying taxes and they want to go to jail, that's fine. They'll go to jail.
Sorry, just the way you said that was
I
hilarious.
mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't, I have my cryptocurrency, but I declare it every year. So I try to stay above what the IRS is going to kind of sit there and say to me. So mine is only like, I only got $40 in cryptocurrency. So, I mean, I keep it below the rate where they can tax me. So it's like a savings account, but it's even better because it's more than 5% interest.
Yeah.
So I mean, your 5% interest is just a savings account. If you're going to 15 to 20% on cryptocurrency, you're making some bank. And if you're making bank, you need to start thinking about where you're going to shift this responsibility. And just being honest with you, if you don't do the right thing, that they'll seize your stuff,
I,
and they'll tax the crap out of you.
but here's the thing, and like I know this is going to sound not so lovely. And, I'm probably going to get some angry Bitcoiners DMing me afterwards for
No,
whatever.
I love the Bitcoin community. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of them are fraudulent. I'm not a scammer and I don't fraud. But, when I purchase something, I expect it to be in my wallet and being able to capable to use it whenever I need to. So I understand where you're coming from, but um, you really don't want to be doing fraud if Uncle Sam can see it, because
No,
then, yeah, that's what I'm saying is this is going to change the picture automatically. So Bitcoin really do need to invest in these startups, quantum companies, to actually have quantum encryption, and that's more than 256 in actual. It's an actual binary and an algorithm. And if you don't have the right algorithm on the other side, good luck, Chuck. You will never get into your wallet.
no, I mean, you're completely not wrong, right? Because right now there is no upgrade path. I mean, they rely on EC DSA, and migration would require, hard forks, user auction, and perfect coordination. And so, like, that's like nearly impossible at scale, right?
I don't know. I mean, you email some of their algorithm, and it's like a 10-digit code that you're emailed in a separate email account, and you open up your algorithm and you just make a copy. You're pretty much like a voice recording. It's like an algorithm, an actual, you know, um, an oscilloscope readout, a waveform algorithm, an actual algorithm. And that's how quantum actually decrypts and encrypts its system. There is no numbers behind it, it's an algorithm. So the quantum can't beat it unless it's the quantum system it came from.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying is that there's really smart ways of doing things, and once you get that waveform, all you do is keep it on record and then you press it to get into your account. This is what I'm saying. And we do need quantum, because if we allowed China to have their quantum beat our quantum out, they will take over Bitcoin and the blockchains by slowly eliminating them, by buying them out. And if they're buying them out and putting them aside, or they do a hostile, what we call a hostile takeover, and actually buy the stock of the company that they own,
Mhm.
they can actually devalue your Bitcoin. So
Right.
this has got to be a warning system to you to think about it. We need to beat China. Now, I mean, I understand there's a Chinese company that runs this podcast, and they're going to be pissed at me. But the CCP I'm just saying is I don't have a problem with Chinese people. I like
I
Chinese
know
people.
you and I both have Chinese friends, and I've been
Yeah,
very
but I'm just saying is that, but the CCP and the PRC are not our friends. They're not, and they will take your Bitcoin. Am I right? So they will take your Bitcoin because they're a socialist system. Everything is from the state, and everything will be distributed from the state. So you've got to understand that if we beat them in quantum, then we are on the market. The Bitcoiners run the market. The
Mhm.
government runs the market. We run the market. And then we have total independence from a system of being locked into this tax base view of getting things done. That's what you want to be free from. That's why you bought into Bitcoin in the first place, is to be free from people knowing how much you have and when you have it. I mean, every bank is controlled by Homeland Security looking in your bank account, and that I find it to be wrong. And I mean, that's a violation of privacy on my part or anybody else's part. So that's just wrong, unless you do something immorally wrong and you're raking in cash and you got more than you can ever fathom, and then it pops up that you're not paying your taxes. Hey, that's on you, brother. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but as the saying was, is that I'm just saying is if we don't beat China, China will buy up the companies for blockchain, and they will disassemble them and devalue the coin. So, I mean, right now is a perfect time to start investing in quantum computing, so you have a future. I'm not trying to scare people, I'm not trying to flip them out. I'm trying to just be honest with you
Yeah.
and be forthcoming, because eventually if Bitcoin goes down, then that's going to be an economic situation that can destroy the United States government even further. And we don't
Well,
need that.
and as much as I like to, I never really miss an opportunity to like criticize it. You know, the fact remains that it does lead the market. Like everything follows it, and that's the way it is right now. And no, it's not like we don't have it. I mean, obviously there won't be, you know, it's not going to last forever and ever, but like, but that is like, that is the state of things right now. But I don't know. I don't know if anything's actually going to be done about the situation with that. I'm hoping yes, but hope is not a fucking business plan, is it?
No, what I'm saying is investing now. I mean, investing now in your future is a good idea with Bitcoin. It's one of the best things you could do. I'm not knocking it, but what I'm saying is that once you have a blockchain, you really do need to protect that interest and from other people that are seeing what you're investing in and where you're going with it. It's supposed to be a private thing, not a, everybody should know your business. That's why you did that in the first place, is you didn't want people in your business of how much money you're investing and what time you're and how you're investing it. That is a private thing between you and your lender and then your borrowers. And that should be just like, we don't want to see the economic situation crippled, especially when you got other governments involved that want to see Bitcoin destroyed. You see what I'm saying?
No.
So, just my opinion on it. I mean, they can take it for a dime. I'm pretty smart, and
You
I
don't need to like, you know, you don't ever need to diminish anything that you say with just my opinion. Like, good Lord. Like I've seen a lot of your work. I haven't looked through all of it just yet. But
I'm
like
just saying is that China is not your friend. Chinese government's not your friend. Chinese people, they're good people, man. I mean, really hardworking and awesome people. But the Chinese government, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. They've got too many human atrocities behind them and a lot of stuff that they've done that they have to answer for. You know what I
okay.
mean? I mean, the Hmongs, organ donating, selling off their organs across the world. These are things that are just
Yeah,
human atrocities.
you had mentioned this to me. So you are urging companies not only to start investing in quantum resistant technology now just for our own, you know, personal finances and our own personal financial freedom,
Yeah,
but you're saying like just for, you know, the future, right? That if we don't do something about it and we don't invest in ourselves, that you are saying that you think that they are going to be the entity that ends up buying up too much of
buying the actual coin company, buying them out, and then devaluating your coin. That's how communism and socialism works. They control the market. Everything is controlled by the state. All right, let me let me give you a lesson. Um, they had this. They had the same thing in this in China before, and they've done this before, where they've
yeah,
actually bought the bank and devalued the yen in that bank to the people that were there. So they took a percentage because they figured it was feeling like they were taxing them. But that bank was an independent bank, so the bank closed up, and China owned it again. China owns all the factories and banks there, but an independent company came in and sued to actually be there. But they took them over with a hostile takeover by buying up more than 51% of the stock. And once they did that, they devalued the money of the people that were trying to be in Hong Kong, being Hong Kong was free. They devalued their money, and what happened was is that they got a quarter of what they were supposed to in cash. If they've done it in the past, they'll do it in the future, and that's including Bitcoin.
yeah. But in terms of like the quantum resistance, right?
Right.
And in conjunction with this kind of threat, you
Yes.
are urging all blockchains to not just, you know, but, you know, I mean, and some of them are already working on it. I did, you know, post like, you know, some of the things that Solana is working on to prepare for a quantum future, for instance.
Right.
But You are saying that we not only need to be investing in these technologies, and these technologies need to be like built, on blockchain, but we need to also make sure that we are, buying these coins ourselves because of China as an imminent threat, and also the quantum threat. Like, it's both. And
Right.
you feel like a lot of the quantum threats will be coming from China, is kind of like my next question. Like, you don't see like North Korea getting in on it.
North Korea has their own. They buy into Bitcoin and all that in
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah, yeah.
offices and everything. But I mean, they
As,
don't.
as another threat. I'm not saying that they're not threatening already, but I'm just saying as another major threat. You mainly, when I speak to you, China is your main
Well,
kind of.
China's buying up half of California. All those burned houses that were burned up and everything else, they're buying those up. And then you've got a quarter of the Chinese citizens who have dual citizenship as Americans because they were born on U.S. soil.
Yeah, that's
And then they
true.
went back to China, and now they're coming back. Now they can vote and elect. That's how they slowly take over a state or country. Is they'll breed you out, or they'll buy you out. These are the things they do. So that's how it works. And in social situations, that's nice and dandy, but you don't want to depreciate your Bitcoin or the company that's holding the Bitcoin paperwork, the actual coin itself, holding the coin.
Right.
And then because you're only buying a percentage of a coin, right? So that's what I'm saying is that these blockchains are in threat if they don't sit there and bring up their security from China as well, because now they have the name of the companies that are actually
You're
sponsoring.
cutting out a little bit for me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll go plug you in again. I'm
Yes, plug it in. No, I'm just being
sorry.
silly, but no, don't be sorry. We're American. How many times have I said this? We don't apologize for anything.
No, no, no. I'm trying to keep up with this morning. I had a lot of schoolwork to do and I had a lot of phone calls. So my phone is kind of
Oh,
like crazily discharged. But I have a battery, but I don't know where the hell I put it. So
don't you love it when that happens? Like,
yeah, well, I have two
I can't
kids,
tell you how
so
many times I misplace things. I've put my keys in the fucking freezer before.
no, no, I have an autistic child, so it's like you put something down and it disappears if he needs it. So it's okay.
Well,
He's
I
cool.
understand. I
All right,
understand. Like,
so
carry on.
as I was saying was what else can we talk about on the blockchain and security wise? VPNs are always recommended. Antiviruses are always recommended.
Yes.
Algorithm coding is the next step towards,
Mhm.
instead of 256 encryption, you've got an algorithm, which is an actual waveform coding that it has the mathematics behind it because it's trigonometry, but it has to be given at a certain time when you're logging in. So you have a 10 to 5 minute window to actually log into your Bitcoin, and then the algorithm will start over again. You have to re-log in on the page.
Yeah.
So there's a timing essence in it too.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
I'm more interested in the altcoins, to be honest with you, because they're already investing in, technology for the future. I just
right.
I I just don't see. And, I mean, I don't want to say something dumb like I could be wrong, but, when I see patterns of a company or a person or whatever behaving in a certain way, I don't expect patterns to change.
I don't know about that. Not.
I mean,
I mean,
they can. Okay. I'm not saying that they can't at all, but like, I'm just saying, like, for me, I think a turning point, there was a couple of big turning points for me where I lost a lot of the faith that I had in Bitcoin previously. Um, and one of those points was when BlackRock bought the shit out of it. Like, and
oh, that was terrible. That
no,
was
no, 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 no. And I have a friend.
that was
He
that
still,
was that
yeah,
was a hostile takeover right there.
yeah.
That was a
But that's
hostile
the thing.
takeover.
That's why a friend of mine, he sold all his Bitcoin. He sold all his altcoins too. and he said, fuck this shit. I am out of crypto. But then he fucking texts me a couple of days later, when should I buy back in? And I'm like, I've been telling him to invest in altcoins because of the way that they are, they are investing in the future for a quantum resistant future. And I mean, I can talk a little bit about that, and I'm happy to.
Well, I
But
mean, look at the companies that they put out the $200,000 for quantum innovation in Canada. They have a actual contest going on right now.
yeah, no, okay, but let's talk a little bit about Solana and Near Protocol and what they're actually doing. So validator clients like Anza and FireDance are actually testing Falcon, which is an NIST approved post quantum signature, and but 100% of wallets are exposed, so no hashing of public keys. That makes it like higher urgency. Near Protocol does have an advantage. Okay, so building FIPS 204 MLDSA integration, right, which is also NIST standard post quantum crypto. And one of the things that's cool about Near is they are actually exploring zero knowledge proofs to verify ownership without exposing the keys. Okay, so the real issue here is we're not just talking about math, we're talking about governance, right? It's governance agility, and chains that have on-chain governance, right? Like Near Protocol, Tezos. I mean, they can upgrade a lot faster than the freaking Bitcoin, their consensus. I mean, that's just kind of like a thing. So, I mean, the searching confirms that quantum computing is a real threat. Like, you guys were not just making this up, I mean, like, bringing it back to Bitcoin one more time, 6.9 million BTC are in exposed wallets, and those are prime targets. There currently is no upgrade path. And as I've mentioned before, migration would require massive coordination, whereas Solana, Near, and even Ethereum, which I'm not so in love with these days, are actively testing all of these signatures. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons that I told him, to invest in some of these altcoins, not just because they're more decentralized, not just because they're building more, protocols for the future, but also, I hate to say it, but let's just spit out the dirty fucking truth. I really wish this wasn't the case, but I do unfortunately feel like at some point, some hostile takeover, it could happen to any blockchain, right? And that's one of the reasons you want to get in. I don't want to say the dirty little word that some of you guys who know the inside joke, I'm not going to say it, but we'll just say, when you get in before everybody buys that shit out, before a hostile takeover, that's when you want to, get in, because at a certain point, somebody's probably going to want to do some kind of hostile takeover, and you want to be able to see the potential and the future that a blockchain can bring and invest in that. And so hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that every blockchain will ultimately have a hostile takeover, but if we don't invest more in these chains, I think we're looking at a future where we're going to see more of that. So that's another reason why we should invest now. Invest in quantum, invest in chains that are looking towards the future. And a lot of people, and I've complained publicly a couple of times on Spaces about the massive volatility, within blockchain, even more volatile than the stock market. I've complained about the lack of transparency that a lot of blockchains don't actually give about what they're building. Whereas stock, if you're a company in the stock market, you have to, reveal those things. But the reality is like, we actually do have some control about how to make sure that some of, that volatility is leveled out. And I've been in some spaces where people say that with, bots starting to become more involved in things, that's going to help with the involvement of AI. That's going to help. I'm guessing, Kevin, that you might even say that even having more quantum resistant technology would help with some of the with the volatility, because to be honest, some people, they won't accept the word investing, even if some of these are building long-term for the future. As far as some people in my life are concerned, that until it's not so volatile, they're just going to refer to it as gambling. even though you and I know that that what this tech can do is way more long term, it's way more sustainable. And if we follow history, right? Like, think about why the .com crash happened. Why? No hard assets, right? Just all liquid. Okay, so if we can learn from history, we actually can play a bigger part in making sure that we don't have like such a horrific hostile takeover. But we have to see and understand what happened before so that we can actually plan and not fuck this shit up. Am I missing anything, Kevin? Please. I missed what? I didn't know. Come on now. I missed something for sure. I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, good Lord. He's gonna come back. I'm gonna kick this account, come back on another account. Yeah, let's do that. So come back. Oh, otherwise I'll be talking to myself. All right. Okay, add to the stage.
Yep,
There you
that's me. I'm sorry. I had to
No.
have lunch. Lunch was good, but I mean, I had somebody call me now, not on anything else, but now I got a text, so that killed my freaking feed.
Next time, let's maybe like try doing this on your laptop, or if you have, do you have an iPad maybe?
I do have a laptop and I do have an iPad, but they're proprietary, so everything on there.
Because you're a Linux guy, right?
Yes, I'm a Red Hat guy. So as I was saying is that
wow, is that a coincidence? You're a Red Hat.
yeah, Red Hat.
No, I mean, I think I probably need to be a Red Hat.
Yeah,
I mean,
you need to go. You need to get into that.
No, I mean, like, look, it's like I feel like there's enough signs to do it. Like, sorry, we're going off topic for just a second, just because. Before I started following Pliny the Liberator, who is, one of the most famous, most fucking amazing red teamers there are. And for those of you guys who don't know, I mean, if you're not a hacker yet, I say, because I really feel like we're entering an age where more people are going to have, education on how to have more security if they want to have privacy and sovereignty and liberty and all that other wonderful things that comes with the responsibility of freedom. But I was doing one of my brand ambassador gigs, and before, all I knew was white, black, and gray hackers. Okay. And well, I don't really want to go into the story about the
Red Hat is more Linux based.
Yeah, I met her. I met this beautiful woman who was a Red Hat hacker, and she told me like, "Oh, you should go into." I can't remember the name of it, but there is a program where you can, get certified for free. And then then Mark Risen Hopkins, who I came across via the Dash community, amazing community. If you guys are tuning in, I love you guys. Dash is cash. And I'm planning to doing some interesting stuff utilizing Dash really soon, but I shouldn't talk about that just yet, but I just did. But when I met her and she said, "Oh, I'm actually a red teamer." And then like 2 weeks later, Mark tells me about Pliny, who is a red teamer. I was like, okay, you know what? Like, this is not just like a coincidence. This is a sign. And so I started using, I started utilizing the God mode AI, and that's a whole nother discussion. But I'm very much for it, because that's Pliny's whole thing is anti-censorship, freedom, sovereignty, liberty, all of that stuff. That's why he jailbreaks the AIs, and you can jailbreak up to 55 of them at once because of that. But yeah, and now you
don't want to take off the safety guide rails. When you're doing AI, you don't want to take all the safety guide rails off them, especially if you have young people in the house and they use AI. They're using it for school and everything else. You just got to be careful of that. Just being honest.
For school using AI?
Yeah, the kids use school for AI all the time. My two boys do.
That's different, in a school situation. But, but this goes back to the fact that everyone, if they want to live more sovereign, they're going to have to become more, in tune with security. And that's one more reason why, if people understood how important all this security was, then they would pay attention, and it's going to be, and it should be involved in the kind of decisions they make in towards which blockchains, and also not blockchains, right? Because you guys, I know that Caspa and Hedera are not blockchain technology. We don't need to debate about like, oh my God, which one is worse or better or whatever. But like, yeah, I know it's different technology, but the point is like, we're still all talking about like crypto in this case. And people need to have like an understanding of that. And I'm hoping, God, I know I should not keep saying the word hope because it makes me sound silly, but I'll just say, instead of hope, I will say this. I am optimistic that if we raise enough awareness, right? Because there is a difference between optimism and delusion. Very big difference. I am optimistic that if we raise enough awareness, that we will have people living in a more sovereign way, which involves people being more aware of their taking privacy and security measures, and being aware of which crypto and which blockchains to invest in, because AI, okay, not even quantum, but just AI, because of AI changing how the world works so much, right? We're in kind of a stage now where if people don't decide to make more sovereign decisions about how they live their life, I'm sorry, but you're not really going to have any decisions. Like, you'll be controlled by censored AI. You'll be, buying crypto that's not really crypto. Right.
Imagine sitting there having a crypto
I was being a
AI.
little sarcastic, but what?
Imagine having a crypto AI yourself, an LLM. There's people that are actually engineering those things,
Yeah.
their own LLMs, large language models. And we've already talked to most of the things, and
Yes.
it's not very hard to actually build a server system and have your own LLM. It's
Yes.
5 servers, and then you would have the basis of Grok for Bitcoin eventually,
Right.
and just for Bitcoin users
Right.
and Bitcoiners. I mean,
Right.
if you're going to mine, just keep on mining, data mine until you're blue in your face, and place it in your wallet, and then from there you just keep on going.
Yeah, but
And
I
remember to
think
use
that's going to be
use stuff
necessary.
like Trust Wallet so you don't get robbed. Trust Wallet, all these other things. Just my opinion on it.
No, look, there's others. I'm also a fan of Xportal.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I have Xportal. I have too many wallets. I don't know if we need to name off all the wallets that I
No, no,
have.
no, 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 no. I don't want to know. The one thing I don't want to know is that some people are writing this shit down for the government, and I don't care. Because you do have narcs and informants with the IRS running around. That's why old Sleepy Joe was hiring all these IRS agents. He was going to take out Bitcoin. I mean, he was trying to take out our economy. I
Mhm.
mean, think about it. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent, but I'm telling you, man, he wasn't playing around with everybody pays their fair share of taxes. He was like really serious about that crap. So,
Yeah, and here's the thing. With crypto, even though in some ways there's more freedom and there's more, sovereignty, like, it is one more way for the government, any government, to surveil your transactions and to tax you straight up.
yeah,
And there's no way to like get around that.
no,
And I mean, I'm not saying we should keep printing more money. I think that's dumb. But the most anonymous way, the most anonymity historically that we've ever had was the exchange of cash. And that's going away. But, if we're going to, look at one more thing that I kind of want to maybe relay a little bit to people here, because I know, like, my friend who's maybe watching the stream going, "You're just trying to get me back into crypto." He literally just said that to me like last week. It's like, okay, but if everything is going digital, right? And I'm not saying that stable coins can't have their place, but more and more I'm starting to feel like they don't necessarily need to have such a huge place at all in the future, as long as we, diminish, most of the volatility. due to bots and AIs and things like that that can help our financial processes run smoother. Because I was like, look, stable coins, just like the bank, they can freeze your funds at any time, right? So, and I do try to let people know this. And so it's like, you may as well start, investing in some of these altcoins now. And at least, just not worry that your shit can just be frozen and you're the bank's little bitch. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So the investing and concepts are done. Quantum's done. Do you need me for anything else? Do you want me to answer any questions or Q&A? Do you
I
have
mean,
anything for me?
no, there's no one on YouTube that's answering any questions, but like, I don't, it's not about need. I wanted you to come today because I thought people would appreciate your perspective. Also,
Oh
that
yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying is these big companies are investing in quantum and they want to know answers to big things, but on the sideline, how are they making money with the quantum system? And the only way they're going to do it is through Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoiners investing in quantum companies. Once you start buying stocks of quantum companies and you're investing in your future because you're actually putting money back into a system that will lock down your Bitcoin and 256 encryption can come and go.
No, I
That's
get
what the
you.
whole thing.
I get you, and I feel you. I feel like we're kind of like at a good point, and
Okay.
I just want to say, like, I'm grateful to you for
Mhm.
being here. I mean, I know
You're
that you're
welcome.
more interested in publishing than you are in having video content, but you are, we discussed that you're very
No, no,
well
no. I
aware of.
mean, I just like to have them informed. I don't want to
Oh,
see the Bitcoiners get hurt in the process. I don't want to see the hackers and the guys that we grew up with. I came from the old nerd herd where we had hackers, crackers, and Bitcoiners and runners, all kinds of people, and they were good people. If you treated them right, they treated you right. They didn't try to get over on you if you didn't get over on them. And if you're honest with them, they're going to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So, as
well, I've,
long as
I've
you,
I've known a few different hackers in my life, and well, they're not. I mean, like, there's a wide variety of personalities with the hackers. I will say that.
yeah, but
But
if you don't screw with them, they don't screw with you. That's usually the point they make, right?
yeah, like, I don't necessarily want to speak about it publicly, but
Well, no,
like,
I'm just saying is that that's usually the quantum respect of each other. Basic respect in human dignity is that if you're going to have sovereignty and you want to have your privacy, then respect other people's privacy.
yeah, but like, I think that makes sense. But I think I just kind of want to leave people on a note of, I'm glad that you came here, that we're having this,
Mhm.
that we had this conversation today, because you can't have sovereignty, and liberty and freedom without functional decentralization, without privacy, and without security. And if you don't take responsibility for your sovereignty now, eventually, you are going to be, poverty. You're going to be on the streets. You're And no one's going to give a fuck. So I used to say in spaces, I think you were there one time, Kevin, where I was like, oh, more people should get into the gig economy. No, I don't necessarily want to preach that anymore, because I've been in and out of the gig economy and I have thoughts about that, which we don't need to go into. People need to start having sovereign ways that they can generate money for themselves. One of those ways is crypto. And if they are working on products, which I have the one, and I'm going to come out with another one next week, um, before I do something a little more nuanced, which that'll be in the coming months. But people need to have, they need to get into something, whether you're going to be part of the live stream selling industry. There's amazing opportunities with TikTok and whatnot. I mean, whether you're going to, start selling stuff as a sole proprietor online, there's many opportunities for that. Like, I'm selling PDFs right now of my AI prompt packs that I built with over 55 different models with the God Mode AI, thanks to Pliny, the Liberator. Sorry, not sorry. But I mean, there's all kinds of ways that people can generate revenue through, selling different things to establish their sovereignty. and, you know, and give people access, let people pay in different ways. So I've got to get hooked up with WAP.com, which allows people to pay in crypto. And there's other things, like I think that as many people that shit on NFTs for a while, we're starting to get into an era where we're going to see a lot more people use them than just for JPEGs and gambling. That's a whole nother conversation. But like, people start to, you know, be aware of your sovereignty now. We're not living in an age where you have to have gazillions of dollars of capital just to start investing in your own future. You can invest in crypto. You can make product where people can pay in crypto. I know some of you like to shit on vibe coding apps, but, you know, I mean, but let's be real. Even if in some cases you might be smart to learn to use some code to fix it, which, yes, I'm happy to do so. We are not living in the age anymore where you had to wait and hope that your dev wasn't rugging you, locking you out of your GitHub, you know, because you can now vibe code a lot of things yourself. You have the opportunity, guys, now to take, you know, advantage of your future now. So even though AI is coming in and quantum is coming in, like, this is your opportunity to get educated now so you can start building for your future now. Because if you're not going to be sovereign, you're going to be fucked in the future. And I know that's bold to say, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to people, Kevin. That's not my thing. And you don't lie to people.
I don't lie people either. So I mean,
know you don't.
I'm a pretty honest person. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, it's better to find your niche and then go with that. That's all I got to
Yes.
say about it.
Well, you're right. You're right. And invest in crypto, invest in altcoins, invest in quantum, invest in the future. And thank you so much, Sergeant Kevin Parrish, for being here. It's always a pleasure to learn from you and learn all of these things and discuss. And hope we'll see you soon. Okay,
I'll see you later.
everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.